Well, hello beautiful people. Welcome to my channel. My name is Teresa and I am your cruise director on the Magical Mystery Tour. What have we got happening? We have got a full face of luxury versus dupes. Which side of my face cost me $900 and something dollars? Which side of my face cost me under $300? Do you want to know? Stick around, find out. But first, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Ring the notification bell to be alerted to any new uploads. And if you like this video at the end, please give it a big thumbs up. Let's go get started. A couple of things to be aware of is I am going to use the same eye primer, which is my MAC Paint Pot, to be fair to the eyeshadows. I am going to use the same setting spray today. It's the Revolution IRL, just to melt it in across, and because I didn't want to go out and buy a dupe for something. And lastly, with mascara, whilst I could probably do a dupe, again being fair to the overall look, I'm going to use the L'Oreal Panorama mascara so that everything's fairly balanced. I've tried to not do the absolute obvious dupes, however there will be a couple just because of the products that I happen to own. We have and this is going to be my spendy side, not because it's particularly spendy, because you can get this at the chemist. The L'Oreal Glotion, or the Lumi Glotion if you're overseas, is $40. I've got the shade 902 Light Glow. I didn't want to do the typical dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury, which is what we always seem to do, but I did want to use an illuminating primer. So I'm going in with this one because it took us so long to get this in Australia. And I think in the UK, if you're in America, you've had this for ages. We've only had it the last couple of months. So going in with this side, and this is going to be my more expensive side. And trying to keep it fairly even. So that is the shade Light Glow. On this side now, I've got a cloth here to clean my hands. Going in with the OXX Cosmetics. This is the Luminous Skin Tint in the shade Light. This, the L'Oreal and this both have a real sort of rosy, rose gold glow to them, which is why I picked it. Obviously this is trying to dupe Charlotte Tilbury and probably does in one of the shades. It's a little bit thicker than the Glotion. Next up, we're going in with a newer product. It's the Fenty Soft Lit Luminous Foundation. I wear the shade 150. I had a few that could probably dupe this, to be quite honest. However, the issue that I had is that there was a variance in the shade, and I probably could have ended up colour matching it by using pigment to change it, but I wanted to find something that was close to it in both shade and in texture. So everything here, I haven't so much looked at the ingredients. What I have looked at is how they end up looking on your face as a comparison, because at the end of the day, this is not skincare. It's the fact that you are wanting something that gives you the same look as it. I'll go in with a sponge. I'll use one side, then I'll use the other side of this for the dupe. So this is a nice glowy medium coverage foundation. And just using my sponge. This is the Morphe sponge that comes with their, what's it called, Face Shaper, the new bamboo set. This is the first time I'm using it. It's been sitting in my drawer since I got it ages ago. It's actually really nice. I probably should have compared it. It's super bouncy. I reckon that's comparable, and I should have pulled one out to compare it. I reckon that's comparable with the Beauty Blender, or even here in front of me, the Nakia Joy. Going down. This shade for Fenty, I have 5. I have most of the Fenty foundations. I don't have her powder foundation. I do like them all. I've been back and forth on this, truth be told, on this particular one. But her shade range. In the ones that go 1, 2, 3, I'm the shade 3. In this, I am 150. 150 is what I foundation match everything to. It is the perfect shade for me. Now, on the other side, the dupe for that is the L'Oreal True Match Foundation. This is a shade 1.5N. Full price is $34. So the Fenty full price is $64 and this is $34. This obviously is a dupe of Armani and so many others. And look how many different foundation formulas can you have, truth be told, at the end of the day. But if you want something comparable, this is going to be it. Again, it's a hydrating, luminous, semi-luminous finish foundation. Armani is the luminous one, so there's only going to be so many that fit into the dupe category for a foundation like this, because it is, after all about the finish. Take that down, go up over the center there, and I am telling you, they look exactly the same. Obviously, all the prices that I'm talking about in the savvy side, I'm quoting full price. Do we pay full price on the savvy side? No, we don't, because Chemist Warehouse, Priceline, all these brands that have these always have sales. So don't, keep an eye out. Don't pay more than 80% of the price. Most of them will go to 40, 50% off. You just have to be patient. Back over here. I mean, just add a little bit more there now. I am turning my sponge over as I do this, by the way. And straight up the center for the join of this. Seriously, does that not look exactly the same? Yes, yes it does. And this is it. I think we forget that everyone loses their mind when a new product comes out. Truth be told, there is not a huge amount when it comes to these mass brands. There's not going to be a huge amount that you can't find elsewhere. Okay, concealer. This one's a really obvious one. I've got the smaller size in the luxury brand. They look the same, like they're duped. So on this side, we're going to have the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. Just going in under there. I don't wear a huge amount of concealer. I try to keep it pretty minimal, just sort of in this corner, and then let it spread out. We don't need as much concealer as we think we need. I wish people understood that more. Okay. It is gorgeous. That full price, obviously this is the mini size. That full price is $53. And then on this side we have the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. Again, it's a creamy radiant concealer. This is the shade 15 Light. Let me clean off my brush. You can see my brush has been cleaned off. And again, this is not even a concealer brush I'm using. It's an eyeshadow brush, which just goes to show you don't need to use a concealer brush necessarily. So I don't think I put quite as much, just a little bit more there. I did poke myself in the eye with that. And this has just a smidgen less coverage than the NARS. But again, look at my face. You're not going to know that I'm wearing two different products. I am going to let those set down. It's really important if you want to avoid cakiness to let this air dry down. It'll help with the longevity. It'll stop creasing. It'll stop cakiness. So I'll be right back. It is Editor Teresa jumping in here. I have just realised I've completely lost a video part of it using a few of the products. I don't know what happened. It's completely gone. But after I put on my foundation, I used contouring products. So I just wanted to show you now very quickly, but what you will see as we jump to the next video is I've put it on and I've set down. So I was using the Charlotte Tilbury contour wand, and I had a dupe for it. So this is it, just to show you. And I used the Revolution Eye Bright Illuminating Concealer in Caramel. Like, this is the best dupe for the contour one. So I had to tell you about it because, I mean, look at it. So I used it here, around here, and on my nose. And my nose was sharp. And setting wise, I used the Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder. This is just a small sample that I had got. And I used the Maybelline Fit Me as the dupe for it. Both very finely milled. The final look on that is the same. But I don't know what happened. So this is the best dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury contour wand that I've ever come across. Not like some of the others that are too warm. So back to what we were doing now. Let's move on to brows now, and let me tell you a little story. Let's zoom right in on my brows. Can you see how short they are? They're like 2 mil long. Why are they 2 mil long? Because less than 48 hours ago, I had a bit of an oops. I used this eyebrow trimmer. It's, oh, there's a bit of fluff there. It's something I've used 100 odd times. I used it on my husband. It hasn't properly been sitting right. I don't know what happened the other night, but I ran them over like I did and essentially shaved most of my brows off. It looks like my brows have brows that have been shaved off with 2 weeks growth. You may think it doesn't look like that now. I had to tint them and leave the tint on for a while to get any colour in there. Like, it was just stubble. But thankfully it's not looking so bad now, and we're about to add brow pencil to it. I don't need to add brow gel today because I've got nothing to set. So we are going in with the ABH Brow Wiz Skinny Brow Pencil in the shade Medium Brown. This is not the full size, obviously. I used my points at Sephora to redeem this. I do love this pencil, but I haven't had to buy it for so long because I keep getting it with my Sephora points. So don't forget to do that when you can, because I keep getting this. Between this and the angled one, I think my last 4 brow pencils from ABH have all been redeemed with points, which is great. Mecca, I know you do your Beauty Loop bonuses, but it would be really great to have redeemable points where we could pick what we want. What I wouldn't pick is the Mecca Cosmetica Moisturiser Sachet ever again, because I reckon if I squeezed all of the samples that I've got, I would have a full one, as I'm sure everyone else who has ordered online would be in the same boat. So that is one brow done. I do love this. It's not too warm. It's sort of on that ashy brown side. So that full price is $45. As I said, haven't had to buy one for a long time. We're going in now with, on this side, the Maybelline Brow Ultra Slim Brow Defining Pencil. This is the shade Soft Brown. It's probably the closest pencil I've got to it. The good thing is that nowadays in the savvy chemist, drugstore, mastige, whatever you like to call it, range. So they have upped their game, and this is, unfortunately, this is slightly warmer than the ABH. It is the closest that I had, but you can get really good products for your brows from the pharmacy. That being said, the one pencil I will always buy is my Charlotte Tilbury refill, brow cheat refill. I do love that. So again, these are close enough. As I said, different shade, but they look the same, yeah? What are we going in now? This is good. This is a good one. Actually, no, before I get to it, I'll do bronzer, powder bronzer instead. So, I am using the Ambient Lighting palette from Hourglass. This one is a couple of years old, the Elephant palette. Obviously, everyone's got their versions of this if you are an Hourglass fan. I did not buy the last one. I refused to pay the money that they want for it. These last for so long. I've got so much stuff. I love them for the collector purposes, but I cannot and will not justify the price of these any longer. So going in with the bronze, and you'll see why in a second. Going in with the bronze from this palette, it is Lustrous Bronze Light, which I don't think is a permanent one, but obviously they have other shades in there that are close to this. So, tucking in here, tapping off. This is a baked formula. And if you want to know if a product is baked, look at how they sit in the pan. If they are a baked formula, they tend to not be sitting in a metal pan that they have been pressed into. If you can't see a frame around it, it means it's baked if you're not aware of that. A lot of you will be, I know that, but some of you are not. So that is that shade. And then on the other side, we are going in with the, this, not this particular palette, but currently the Hourglass bronzer is, for their full size one, is at $96. Oh, God. The Milani Baked Bronzer, this is 05 Soleil. This is, again, a baked product. Full price, $25. This has that bit of luminosity that, and have a look just closer. See the gold, most of that's come out now, the gold over the top and through it, which a lot of the Hourglass bronzers have. So, like the Hourglass, baked and luminous. Okay. Hourglass, Milani. This is a slightly darker tone than the Milani, but this is the closest that I could get out of the shades that I have. I actually do prefer this side, I think. But again, close enough that you can't really tell the difference as far as quality-wise. Now, this one, thank me later, because the difference in the pricing for this is a whopping $88 because there are two products here and one product there. We are going in first with, and I haven't seen many dupe this, the Too Faced Cloud Crush Blurring Blush. This is the shade Velvet Crush. I'll do the blush and the next product on this side first before I go into the other. So this, I really love this product. It's got a bit of a cinnamon scent to it as well. Always forget that. So that is that shade. It is a nice subtle rosy mauve colour. Cleaning off my brush. Going in with the Rare Beauty Soft Pinch Luminous Blush Powder. This is like a blush slider. This is the shade Hope. The Too Faced is $48 and the Rare Beauty full price is $50. Again, at least Sephora have sales. Tap that off. This is glowy. And just placing that over the top, you can see that beautiful glow hit, which people have lost their minds over. Really look at that. Now, considering those two products, $98. Let me show you what I've got, and that is the OXX Cosmetics from Kmart Sparkling Rose Blush and Highlighter Duo. Right here. We are going to go in. I am going to clean off this brush. I want to use this particular brush because of how soft it is. So everything is off there. Going in with the blush first. This is $10. And I'm telling you, she's gorgeous. So that's just the blush. Clean off the brush now again. Here, this is crazy how identical it is to the Rare Beauty. They didn't bring this out to dupe it because this would have been in production when the Rare Beauty was. But look. Come on. If you like the shade Hope from Rare Beauty, I mean, look at that pinky tint. It's the same. It is the bloody same. Save yourself some money, people, and use that. Okay, going in now with highlighter. We don't need it. We don't need it. I could save this for another video. But we're going to do it. We are going to be so glowy. I'll be seeing from the space station. So another newish product, the Fenty Beauty Demi Glow. This is the shade Prosecco. It's so creamy. Now, the product that I'm going to use as the dupe is probably more of a match for the shade Pretty Pearls. But once it's on, we're not really going to notice. Going in with a brush now. Tap all the excess off. Like I said, we don't really need it. Actually, I'll just do this up here. In actual fact, it's a bit late. I've probably put that on there now. Hold on. And I'll have to fix that on this side. So I'll just go in up here. A little bit on the chin. This is... the texture of this, I will admit, is absolutely gorgeous. It feels super, super, super buttery. And look at that glow. It's bananas. But whilst not as buttery, and again, let me clean my brush off. Whilst not as buttery, it does get that same reflect on it. And that is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Powder in Golden Hour Glow. As I said, this is more of a shade match for Pretty Pearls from Fenty Beauty. Difference in pricing, Fenty Beauty is $60. This you can find online for around $12. Tap it off. I do need to put a little bit here to match that now. Now, going in. So this is slightly more golden, just slightly, than the Prosecco. But can you see the glow? The glow is there. And what we'll do is once it all melts in, it's going to sit a lot better and look a closer match. So once I spray that down again, she will look very, very similar. I'm just going to go and prep my eyelids now, and we will get on to eyeshadow palettes. I've got a good one for you. I've set my eyes and we are going in with our eyeshadow palettes now. So we're going in with the, on this side, the Makeup by Mario, the Master Mattes in the Neutrals. On this side, we are going in with Morphe 18CT Matte Essentials. Now there are obviously a few more shadows here. There are enough corresponding shadows for us to create a look. Have I done this before? No. So your guess is as good as mine as to how this is going to turn out. So going in on the Mario side with this shadow here. And using it as our transition. Now, do I expect that these will look exactly the same on the eye? I've got no idea. It's going to look close. So, bringing it up from, not from this line here, that's my hood. Look at that, it'll stay up. I'm bringing it up from where my bone is, which is where my crease is. This is just a slightly different shade to my skin tone, so it's not going to show up. Oh, though it does show up, doesn't it? In the monitor there, but not so much in front of me in my mirror. Looking for a corresponding shade, which seems to be this one here in the Morphe palette, which is more pigmented, straight up. Isn't that interesting? Cleaning off my brush now to diffuse that a little bit to get it closer to the Mario side. Who'd have thunk? So I'm looking at my window at the moment. What time is it? It's just after 12:30 in the afternoon. This feels like it's the first sort of sun, real sun that's, it's a little bit overcast. There is some blue sky out there, but it feels like it's the first sun we've seen all week. And by the first sun, it's 10 degrees Celsius. So what's that? 46, 50 odd degrees Fahrenheit. It's not warm, but I'm not cold. That being said, we're about to have an Arctic blast. We will have a top of 8 degrees one day this week, or around 46 Fahrenheit. That's just cruel, people. Okay, going in now with this shade here and tucking that in now to our crease to create some depth. I've got a slightly flatter brush now just to be a bit more direct with that. And so I'll go in at the flat side, turning it horizontal, and then to start blending out, we turn it vertical because it starts to diffuse the shade, yeah? Off. Going in the Morphe palette into this brown shade here. Tapping that off. And again, she's pigmented. So what's that tell you? Considering there is a difference between 94 and 28. Don't forget, Morphe do have sales on their site as well. The Makeup by Mario, we waited so long to get that in Australia. Obviously Sephora have sales as well, so don't pay full price for either of these if you can help it. I mean, I'm going to clean this off, and I'm going to go into the Makeup by Mario shade again, just to get a slightly little bit more depth, because the Morphe palette is giving more. Now, on the mobile lid, using our fingers, going into the lightest shade on the Makeup by Mario. I was about to try and tap off my finger. Look, had a little bit of fallout there. But we are lightening this up. If you want to try and prevent fallout and you're using a finger, just press it back into the pan. If you've scraped it, like rubbed your finger on it, just press it back into the pan a little bit. And that is that side. Going in with this, which I last used the Makeup by Mario on the edge there. Now, look, I've got fallout there. In the Morphe palette, going into the second lightest shade. This palette, let me tell you, is super creamy. The Mario is a drier palette, which you wouldn't think. Okay, I will clean this brush off, dip into the shade that we used, but rub it off so most of it's off again, so that then I can just, I've used the wrong one, do the same on this. Clean it off, dip it into the brush, clean it off again. I'm preferring the Morphe side. Okay, we're going to go into the outer corner now. So we're going to go into the outer corner. I'm just going to deepen it up. I'm going to go into this slightly darker brown here. And I'm just going to stamp it a little in that outer corner, just to create a little bit of depth. And we're going to go in with a fluffy brush, just to clean it off, into that slightly lighter shade now to blend it. We've got some nice depth happening there. On the other side now. In with Morphe into this darker one, same thing. Stamp it in the inner corner to give a little bit of depth. And into this lighter shade that we used. This is much more pigmented. Clean it off now. And just buff. Now going into clean off again and buff. Once more to bring it back to match. Going into those lighter shades once more. I've stuck my fingers in it. I'm just going to rub them a little bit because I just want to stamp them over that join and blend it. We're not rubbing, we're just tapping. Let's look at under eyes now. I'm going to start by lining my eyes, lining my waterline. This is, look at that, little bit of fallout there and no fallout on this side. Going to line my eyes, I'm going to use a colour that probably I wouldn't normally use here, because I'm going to use a deep green. Why? Because I found a luxury with a really good savvy dupe. So this is the Natasha Denona Macro Tech eyeliner pencil in the shade Willow. She is normally $39 full price. which is a really deep green. Gives us a bit of pop with this look. And the dupe that I found for it is not designed to be a dupe for this. It's actually designed to be a dupe for Charlotte Tilbury. So it's designed to be a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury eyeliner duos that she has. This is DB Cosmetics. This is their Bright Eyes eyeliner duo in the shade Green Means Go. And this end is perfect for Willow. Look at that, full price, $14.99 compared to $39. It's the same shade. I've got a bit of hair or something actually in my eyeball. It is driving me bonkers. Okay, for under eye, I've got to use this grey. I've just got to use it because there is a grey that matches in the Morphe one, and this is sort of the shade in this palette that sets us apart from a standard neutral matte, in that it's got this grey to it, and a lot of people really liked it for the grey. So let's see how we go. I will fluff that out in a minute. Going to clean off my brush now. And we have two greys in here, but this grey looks the closest to it. We have two greys. We have a few greys, but out of the two that are closest in shade. And she is. Come on. Okay, I'm going to just get a little fluffy pencil brush now, cleaning, making sure it's clean, and I will go under with this just to smoke it out, and we will clean it off and do the same on the other side, cleaning it off and doing the same under here. Can we? Seriously. Still got something in this eye. Feels like there's a hair wrapped around my eyeball, people. Not ideal. Okay, I've cleaned that brush off again, going into the lighter shade on the Mario side. Just tapping into that inner corner to use as my inner corner highlight. A matte one. This is an all matte look. Going in same shade on this side. Same deal. I could probably find a shimmer to go over the top, but guess what? Don't die shock. I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to put shimmer elsewhere. Listen. Look at that. Like, look at that. Let's look at it. It's the same. And in fact, I think the Morphe palette feels like the better quality, certainly more pigmented, has more shades, easier to blend. Yep, I said it. I said it. And I stand by it. Lips. Let's go in, my sweets, with, actually what I'm going to do is set my face down, melt all of this in again. This will pull this down a little bit, the intensity of it. I'll be right back. We'll do lips and mascara, and that'll be it. Oh, no, wait. Before I do that, I've probably got right here the best. Whoop. The best dupe. It's not quite exact, But for those of you that are so sick of spending money on the Hourglass Dim Light, we're going to finish our face off before I lock everything in. Clean off these brushes, which used our setting powder. God damn, the price on these things now. I haven't bought this for a long time. It's been sitting in my drawer for so long, and I was gobsmacked when I checked the prices to how much it's gone up. This is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in Dim Light. It is now $93. Absolute bull. Tapping it off. But the thing is with it, my friends, doesn't it make your makeup look beautiful? The best way to use this is at the end of your makeup routine, and tap it off and just sweep it across. You don't have to buff it, you just sweep it across all of your makeup, and it's going to do something magical in 10 or so minutes. It's just going to make your skin look incredible, which is why they charge so much and can get away with it. Now, what I have, this is the shade Dim Light. What I have is, looks like a completely different product, different texture. It's probably a closer match to Soft Light, but we are going to get the same effect and we're going to get the same outcome from it. This is the DB Cosmetics Finishing Illuminator. This is $24.99 full price, and they do have sales. It comes with a puff. It is a loose powder that you turn this and it pushes the powder up. This, my friends, you're gonna thank me later. So putting it on the brush, tapping off the brush. Make sure you tap it off. And do exactly the same. Sweep it across. You don't need to buff, you just sweep. It is, trust me, it is going to give you the same effect. This, I've been a little bit gatekeepery with. They did have a pressed powder that was a fantastic match for it. Unfortunately, they discontinued it. They did try telling me that their ceramide pressed powder was the replacement for the product that they had. It's not. This is. Now I'm going to go and set my face down, dry it off, and I'll be right back. I'm back. I have melted in that makeup. Look at it. Look at it. I've also done my mascara, given that I was using the same mascara on both sides of my face. Let's go into lips. We are down to the last bit. So, on this side, I am going to use the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude Liner Crayon. Full price, $43. Could do with a sharpen. On this, I'm just going to fill in my whole lip. And I say she could do with a sharpen. She could do with a sharpen. On this side, we have the Revlon Colour Stay Long Wear Lip Liner in the shade Nude. Full price, $25. Of course, we're not paying that. Oops. What have I done there? Did I just break that off? Might have done. I think I had it wound up too far. Now this is a slightly rosier tone, but down there in the middle, tap my finger over it, and she's pretty close. Here's the last, and it's a goodie. The Pat McGrath Labs Lust Lip Gloss in the shade Pale Fire Nectar. Full price, $47. She is beautiful. Look at that. This looks slightly different in the tube. This is the Revolution Shimmer Bomb in the shade Daydream. Slightly rosier, $12 full price. But let's see them on. I told you I was going to add some shimmer. I got enough shimmer on our cheeks and our lips. And on this side. I have stuck a heap on. I'm goopy. Let's just fix my lips up. Now, there is a slight difference in this. This is slightly more pink. This is slightly more nude. It's a case of slight difference in the lip liner, slight difference in the gloss. Has made it a bit more noticeable, but still, she's barely different. So that is it. Let's have a look. I'll be back. I'm just going to go out and see my husband and see which one he says looks more expensive. I won't be long. Okay, so I am here with Phil. You won't see him because he doesn't like to be on camera. But more importantly, he's about to look at my face for me. Which side's more expensive?
The right.
Point.
My right. That side.
My brain didn't work. He actually got it right. What makes you say that?
You can just tell that that side is more toned, I guess.
That's all I need to know. Okay, I'm jumping in. It is now 6 p.m. So it's been nearly 5.5 hours since I did my face. And I probably will take this off shortly, which is why I'm jumping in now. Anyway, how are we looking? Can I tell you? Ignore my mirror, getting too close here. The eyeliner under the Natasha Denona eyeliner in my waterline has completely disappeared. The DB is still there. This is starting to look a bit like it still looks good, but I actually prefer how this looks. Obviously, ignore the lips, they're not there. We went out, had lunch afterwards. But as an overall, let's be honest. I think the overall winner is the savvy side. What do you think? Zoom in. So this is the expensive side, yeah? Then this is the savvy side. I actually prefer this side. Certainly that eyeshadow palette. The Morphe one's more pigmented. For a matte palette, it's more pigmented and you've got more shades in it, so it'll give you a bit better variety. This is close enough. I think there's obviously a shade difference in the highlighters. I think if I'd got the exact same one, I prefer how this side looks. And this side looks less textured, which has been an issue that I've had with the Fenty Luminous foundation. It's been my biggest issue with it from the get-go. I love Fenty Beauty. I love all of their products, but this emphasizes my texture here in particular. I don't know if it's going to show up because what happens is it's recorded in 4K. When I upload it onto YouTube, for some reason it drops down to HD sometimes. YouTube picks how it's going to go, but I'm seeing a lot of texture here. A little bit here, but not quite as much. My foundation looks better here. This whole side, I think, just looks better. So, what does that tell you? What it tells me is we can save an absolute truckload of money. Have a look. One last look. That's it. Well, that is it. As you saw, Phil said, correctly guessed the right side as being more expensive, and I've just put in a little bit of video in now, hopefully, of standing outside. I've just come in and added a little bit more glow to this side to even it up a bit more. Given that, full price, bearing in mind full price, this side, had I have paid full price for everything, would have cost $916, and this side, had I have paid full price for everything, would have cost $271. That's a $645 difference. This side, I probably paid half price for everything in any case. So that's making it even more. It would have been probably close to an $800 difference. Is the difference enough that you would spend $800 more? I don't think so. I really don't think so. I mean, look at it. That is it, my friends. I hope you liked this. It was a long one, was it not? But I think it was worth it. So, next time, tell me what you're interested in. What I'd really like is for you to sound off down in the comments from where you are. Like, I know there are some of you from Texas, from New York, from Canada, from England. Please tell me where you come from. Even if that's the only thing, I'd love to know where you're from. Until next time, don't forget to tell your mum, tell your sister, tell your friends to go out and buy the Morphe palette instead of the Mario for sure. Point them to this video. Show them what they can save money on. Until next time, my friends, take care. Bye.